The social media buzz and the crazy thumbnails continue to come in for this winter storm expected later in the week. This comes as cooler than average air will continue to sport a pattern like this deeper into January. This video has a full update on the winter weather pattern ahead without all the extra hype. Thank you for taking time out of your day to tune into this update. Later on in the video, I'll give you a look at a custom graphic breaking down who I think has the best chance of heavy snow, as well as some of those biggest snow totals as we go with this winter storm coming later in the week. But first, let's give you a look at some of the latest model and ensemble guidance, and that starts here with your GFS ensembles, where they're showing the best chance for rain, wintry mix, and snow as we go to this system that starts right here as we go into our Thursday, January 9th. After a week really pretty quiet with just cold and dry conditions for a lot of the U.S. and some isolated pockets of lake effect or lighter snowfall, we're going to see the pattern kick up as we go towards around our Thursday, January 9th, right down here, coming out of Texas into Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Louisiana first, with a winter storm beginning right from the get-go here. It looks like as you transition from South Texas, where we're anticipating rain based on this blended guidance, and then as you push on up here towards the central and northern parts of the state, north central Louisiana, and then especially to the north side of that, we're going to have a chance for not only some wintry mix, but also the transition to some snowfall that could be on that heavier side, somewhere here right around the Dallas area, and then into that Red River Valley region, and maybe even as far north as Oklahoma City. Confidence has really risen on this, and this is only just a few days out now. Certainly something we're going to be pinpointing more here as we go through the next 24 to 48 hours, though. As we go beyond this point in time, confidence, of course, decreases a little bit, but GFS ensembles, as well as other model and ensemble guidance, continues to trek this system off to the east with rain right as you come along that I-10 corridor and the Gulf Coast. That's pretty much as anticipated with any system, even in January. It is very unlikely to get snow this far south in southern Louisiana, southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, into South Georgia and North Florida. Looks like rain will come through here as we go through the day Friday, January 10th. But as you push to the northern parts of these states, we might see a transition to more of a wintry mix or some snowfall as indicated by those blues and pinks trying to mix together. And then north of there, a better chance for some uninterrupted snow and possibly even some heavier snow trying to push here somewhere through the mid-Mississippi Valley, parts of the Midwest into the Ohio Valley, and eventually the central Appalachians as indicated by this guidance as we go through the Friday afternoon and evening time frame, and then into the beginning of our Saturday. By that point in time, this is where things get a little bit interesting because you can see that low pressure system indicated by that L forming off the Carolina coastline around Saturday morning. GFS guidance has been more keen on this in comparison to other model guidance, and I'll show you that here in just a minute. But overall, the GFS model, as well as the GFS ensembles, try to have a low-pressure system developing off the east coast of the U.S. around Saturday, pushing into early Sunday. And as that occurs, that could mean we get a final stripe of the heaviest snow of this entire event, trying to wrap up with a nor'easter-like system, maybe even a blizzard here, into the mid-Atlantic, into the northeast, into southern New England, especially as we go towards the end of the day Saturday and into early Sunday. I'm not buying into this just yet, but there are many channels that are going to use the crazy blizzard clickbait thumbnails, just like they have been even before this has been shown on models and ensembles for days, weeks, and in some cases even months now to get you to click on their videos. So I'm just alerting you, you will continue to see the hype on this. It is not 100% yet, and in fact, let me go ahead and give you a different perspective on this winter storm with your European ensemble guidance and why it is definitely not a given just yet. Alright, here we are looking at a different type of that blended model-like output here, forming your European ensembles and where they're expecting the best chance of 24-hour snowfall and the possible totals of that snow as we go towards the middle to the back half of this week, as well as we push towards the upcoming weekend with that winter storm. Here we go, starting in the near term as we go out of our Thursday morning. This is from Thursday morning through the Friday morning time frame, and you can see the initializing point of this winter storm is really looking pretty impressive down here. As you come out of North Texas, into Oklahoma, into Arkansas, through that 24-hour span, it is looking like we could not only be seeing some snowfall, but the blues and purples indicate higher confidence in some heavier snowfall that could even add up upwards of 3 to 5, maybe even 6+ inches of snow. That could include the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex into the southern parts of Oklahoma, as well as over to places like Fort Smith, Little Rock there in Arkansas. Certainly going to be something we have to track, as these European ensembles are really pretty much on board with the entirety of the beginning of this winter storm when compared to that guidance I was just showing you. Here we go. This is from the time frame from that Friday morning time frame now ahead through the Saturday morning general time zone, and you can see again really looking like snow could be as far north here as Missouri, Illinois, and up into Michigan, as far south as through some of these central parts of the Gulf Coast and southeast states, but the best chance for snow going right in between out of Arkansas into places like Tennessee and Kentucky and into the central Appalachians, where once again we could be at least still seeing multiple inches possible, especially with some of the heavier guidance and what it is showing. And then from here, this is why I'm telling you not to believe in any sort of crazy blizzard or nor'easter register just yet. Look at what your European ensembles are showing for the 24-hour increment from Saturday morning through our Sunday morning. I did not alter this in any way. In fact, let me back it up just to show you this change. Look at that. Once you get the snow totals, they basically die once you come through the Appalachians, and it's just a little bit. Sure, it could even hit the coast of North Carolina, Virginia, maybe parts of southern New England and the mid-Atlantic states as well as we go out of Saturday into early Sunday, but it really looks like a very quick hit of snow here. It could add up to a few inches in some spots, maybe a little bit more, but no crazy nor'easter or blizzard showing on this guidance just yet, so don't give into the hype. You're going to see the thumbnails on other channels, I can guarantee it now. Don't give into it just yet. I'll let you know if all model guidance goes on board or if we just shift more towards this solution and we're not really looking at anything more extreme than other places are going to see as we get closer. Here's what I can overview for you now, though, and recap about this snowy system as we go from January 9th through 12th and the general pattern with snow across the entire U.S. during that time frame. This custom graphic gives you a look at where I'm anticipating, especially that snowfall, and it really looks like our best chance for that heaviest snow is going to go somewhere in the blue area. It's probably not going to hit every single one of you in this blue zone, but anywhere here from Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, into parts of northern Mississippi and Alabama, through Tennessee, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, parts of Kentucky, down here into the southern Appalachians as well, and western North Carolina, and maybe even northwest parts of South Carolina and North Georgia, into western parts of the state of Virginia, and really through a lot of Virginia itself, into the state of West Virginia, into Pennsylvania, and then all the way on up here into the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast, where there's especially some question marks. We're going to have to see, but it looks like even some heavy snowfall could continue up to you guys, and it could be the heaviest snow of this entire event, depending on which guidance you look at. We're going to have to see if we get that nor'easter or not. Certainly something to keep track of, and all of these totals, of course, are still in question for exactly who sees the heaviest. Other than that main stripe of snow expected out of our winter storm, we are going to have to watch the potential for ice anywhere from Texas, coming through parts of the central Gulf Coast states here, into the southeast U.S., and maybe even up the mid-Atlantic shores, depending on how the system tracks, depending on how much warm air is cutting into the atmosphere with it. I'll keep you updated on that potential, but anywhere in the pink, that's where I'm especially thinking ice could break out. If the storm especially becomes stronger. And then other than that, we're also watching some routine-like snows going through with an active pattern into parts of the mountain west. Now that we've spent the last 7 minutes breaking down that winter storm potential for the end of this week and into the upcoming weekend, I want to break down some of the temperature anomalies through that time frame as well as further down the line using our GFS ensembles. In the last video, I broke down the specific temperatures your community is forecasted as we go through the rest of this week, so I'll link that video in the description if you want more details on that. But here we go, just looking at the general temperature anomaly pattern, and that's especially what we're focusing on in this update. Here we go. This is just for example as we go into the morning of our Thursday, January 9th of 2025. Overall, morning time temperatures, and especially these blues and greens, at least 10 to 15 degrees below average, especially right in this zone that I'm hashing out. Temperatures, especially as you go into the Midwest and Ohio Valley and Central Appalachians, could be upwards or downwards, depending on how you look at it, of 25 to 30 degrees below normal. Very frigid air. It's going to be feeling like below zero, especially when you factor in the wind in some of these zones as we start this morning. And that's going to be the case not only for this morning, but several other mornings, not only as we finish this week, but I think down the line with the extended pattern. For example, here, I think we get a reinforcement to our cool air behind the winter storm coming at the end of this week into the upcoming weekend. So by the time we go to around here into our Sunday, January 12th, cooler than average air in the southeastern quadrant of the country. And it doesn't stop there. The generally colder pattern looks to persist over a majority of the U.S., even as we go towards the smack dab middle of January. This is our Wednesday, January 15th. A cold pattern from at least some degree from the west coast all the way here to the east coast. Does it stop there on this guidance? The signal continues, especially as indicated by those greens. That's pretty high confidence for this far out. Cooler than average air looks to be a big theme, and it could even be expanding more into the western and central parts of the country, say as we go towards around January 19th and 20th. I don't want you to focus on a specific zone that's showing, the deepest blues and who could be the coolest and below average. One thing I could tell you for sure, though, I think January is looking to continue to be active, and this could be one of the best patterns that continues to assist with some snowfall, maybe even further south as we go deeper into this month if we can continue to get moisture working in to this cooler air. With that being said, though, that leads me into the summary and the recap for this video. Of course, as in this discussion, I especially broke down the fact that the next winter storm is on the horizon as we go from Thursday to especially at least Sunday morning. The snow and ice track will especially at least initially be further south out of this storm before tracking towards the northeast through places like the central Appalachians and then eventually into the mid-Atlantic and the northeast regions of the U.S. Could we see a big blizzard there as a low pressure bombs out off the coast? It's 50-50 right now. Stick here for updates, and I'm not going to say, oh wow, this is a crazy shift every single title. So I'll keep you updated without all the extra hype right here on the channel. And I'd love it if you'd hit that subscribe button down below so that you can stay updated with those consistent, accurate, and educational forecasts. I appreciate all 8,000 of you who are already subscribed. It's been crazy the amount of subscribers I've gained off the last several videos. And I think I wouldn't be doing it as well without these awesome weather model maps that I use from Weatherbell. If you want to check out the free trial link to Weatherbell, it is right down below in the description to this video so you can access the free trial for yourself. But for now, that's it for this video. One nation, one forecaster to trust. Is that a cheesy line right there? Let me know down below. I'll see you next time.
One nation weather.